sports fans. Coach Nick here, and welcome to Heat Breakdown, a brand new channel we're launching to solely focus on the Miami Heat and their games. So I thought I'd start out with a doozy. The Jazz Heat game from 2 nights ago where, as we all know, the Jazz had a monumental comeback and won in overtime. The things I've seen here with the Heat team are very concerning to me, and what it all adds up to is that the Heat ain't elite. The Jazz had a difficult time in the first half getting the ball in the bucket. They'd get good shots, but they'd miss easy ones like this. And the Heat, in turn, would come right back down and take advantage of their size and their athletic ability with shots like this. We're in a typical game for the Heat. You have Dwayne Wade on the bottom, not in the right position, standing straight up. He should be turned to see the ball and his man. And when his man comes around a double screen, he doesn't really fight through it, and they get an open shot. They miss, though, so now they come back down. The Heat are cruising. They're not even going to run a play, really. They simply screen and roll. Millsap should be hedging, but he doesn't. And that means that Deron Williams has to help out on his man, and they get a wide open 3 and they go up by 20. This game should be over. In the third quarter, they're up by 11 and they're cruising along with offensive plays like this, which basically are isolations for LeBron or Wade or Bosh with no other movement. This becomes important later. A key matchup is LeBron James guarding Deron Williams. It's not a favorable matchup for the Heat, but out of necessity, they have to play it that way. And look how old and slow and lumbering Ilgauskas looks. He's guarding a young and spry Fisenko, and as the shot goes up, he doesn't really help, he can't really box out, and he can't even get his hand up to try and block that layup shot. While certain plays for the Heat might seem to be good for them, they're actually precursors for bad things. Look at the space LeBron is forced to give Deron Williams when he's guarding him. It's enough space for Williams to slip it past to Fisenko. Now, Haslam comes over to help, but so does James Jones. The rotation is off and there's no one there to get over to the corner for a wide open 3, which happens to miss. Watch how aggressive CJ Miles is on this screening roll. He gets his hands on the ball, tips it away, and gets a steal instead of being passive like LeBron was. Here's one of my biggest problems with Dwayne Wade, and I've shown you this before. He goes to the basket and doesn't get a call. It's 8:54 on the clock. They race down on a fast break, pass the ball a couple times. Watch how long it takes Dwayne Wade to even appear in the screen. Look at that, 7 seconds on an HD screen, for heaven's sakes. This is the reason why Spoelstra might not last the season. This is a called play where they do a little pinch post here, but then Haslam's going to step back from a screen and shoot a jumper when you're up by 5 in the fourth quarter. Haslam? Dwayne Wade is now on Deron Williams because LBJ is out. Watch how bad he is on defense. He doesn't chase him around, he goes around the wrong side of the screen and gives him a wide open jumper. They're in a dogfight and LeBron James is on the bench getting rest. Here's where I thought the Heat were going to take over the game. They get the ball finally to Bosh in the post, and he does a beautiful rock step to the baseline and gets a foul. Here's a serious problem. Watch LeBron James on the weak side as they go to Dwayne Wade on the left side. He goes to the basket, and LeBron is just walking around the perimeter. Don't you think he should have gone to the basket and tried to get a rebound? Watch how Dwayne Wade guards arguably the best point guard in the league. He's standing straight up, he's walking around, he's not in a defensive stance. So of course he's stuck trailing the guy by 3 steps when he gets a shot off. That's just terrible. It's not competing. Here's a screen and roll on top with LeBron and Bosh. It's Wade's turn to stand around in the corner, not moving. However, Price gambles on the dribble and leaves Wade, of all people, wide open in the corner for a 3. The Heat don't play like a team. When you try and overwhelm teams with your talent, it's good enough for some, but when you have 3 guys standing around on the weak side not doing anything, it's going to bite you on the ass eventually. Here's one reason Bosh isn't getting any rebounds. Watch his screen. He doesn't roll, and he just stands there and watches Wade instead of going for the rebound. You'll see CJ Miles execute a UCLA cut, which is very basic, and Dwayne Wade plays it so badly that they get to the basket and they have to call a foul on Jones. Lest you think it's all bad for Wade, here he actually hustles even though he went the wrong side of the screen and gets a deflection and a steal. Here's the beginning of the end for the Heat. Andre Kirilenko is going to hit a really tough shot off of a rotation from James Jones. I'm sure the Heat don't mind Kirilenko taking that shot. If you want to know why Chris Bosh's stats aren't so great, it's because of these. He doesn't roll, he stands up on top, isn't part of the play, and Utah gets a steal. Again, matchup problem. LeBron James is guarding Deron Williams. He reaches, D-Will teaches. I think Chris Bosh has some good things on defense. He hustles, He's active. He just has never been taught how to play it. So watch this. Wade makes the second of 2 free throws. They're up by 8 with 37 seconds to go. Impossible to lose. Or is it? Is Coach Sloan diagramming an 8-point play right now? I think he's going to tell Millsap, go ahead and make the most ridiculous 3-pointers you've ever made in your entire career. The first one, Dwayne Wade doesn't come over and hustle. However, I probably would have given him that shot too. You're Miami, you're up 6. The only thing you're thinking about doing is not giving up a 3-point shot. So what happens? Bosh does not hedge. D. Will rises up and hits a nice, tough 3-pointer. It's still a 5-point lead with 19 seconds to go, but watch. LeBron James is not guarding CJ Miles like he should, and Chris Bosh never picked up Millsap. His first 3 let it slide. The second one, you gotta be out on him. So Arroyo hits 2 free throws. The game is over. You don't want to give up a 3, so watch what happens. Haslam will come over to help off Fisenko instead of staying on his man, and that's when Mr. Millsap gets his 3rd 3 in a row. They can ice the game here, but what does Wade do? Clank. And in shades of Oklahoma City versus the Lakers, Millsap is there to put back the shot right before the buzzer goes off. Did he push off? Well, maybe, but don't you think Wade should have made that free throw to end the game anyway? In overtime, Chris Bosh is going hard after rebounds, diving on the floor for it. And in transition, you're going to see LeBron James not come over and help the falling Chris Bosh. He's standing there, he doesn't recognize that Fisenko is open, and they throw it right to him just in time for him to get a layup. How about this for offense? After LeBron passes the ball off to Haslam, he's going to back up and actually disappear from the screen. This is HD video, folks, extra wide, and he's not even in the screen when they're playing offense. Darren Williams had fouled out, he's not there to control the team, and boom, Wade gets right to the basket. Game over, right? What are they doing here with their hands waving back and forth? Is this Illuminati just like LeBron James? Somebody tell me. Crunch time offense, and would you ever imagine LeBron James just standing around for 6 seconds, not in the play? This cannot be what they envisioned when they signed all these guys. They're throwing in 3s from everywhere, so you'd think the Heat would be ready and aggressive and not let anybody get anything. And there's LeBron sagging off Kirilenko and letting him get a 3. And here's a spacing problem when they do a screen and roll on top and 3 guys across the baseline not moving. It makes it very easy for Utah to collapse. But Chris Bosh steps in and saves the day. He comes over and helps and gets a beautiful block, pressures the ball again, and they get the rebound. Great stuff on Bosh's part. Again, no movement, relying on James's athleticism. However, he dishes to Haslam with 13 seconds to go on the clock, and that's the shot they want, down by 1 in the overtime. So Miami does run a little bit better offense here with a weak side screen and then a screen and roll. Wade gets to the basket, and is that a foul? You know, in overtime, maybe. Now it's the Heat's turn to be down by 3 with no time on the clock, and Wade rises up and hits a very tough 3-point shot in the corner. Tie game inside of 10 seconds, and Dwayne Wade is going to get burned by Ronnie Price, who, look at this, right to the basket. Francisco Ellison becomes open, and they have to foul. For any of you Miami fans who thought it wasn't a foul, here's the replay. That's pretty brutal. Gotta call that. Miami lines up, Jerry Sloan sees it, and then calls a timeout to prepare for it. So why doesn't Spoelstra change it? They're in the exact same formation and run the same play they were going to run in the first place, which of course Utah defends perfectly, no lob here, and all they can get is a Eddie House throw-up shot in the corner that misses. So there you have it, folks. Let's make one thing clear. The Utah Jazz made some ridiculously lucky shots, no question about it. But the Heat put themselves in position to lose because of their inattentiveness to detail and their lack of hustle. And also, I've seen a couple instances now of Spoelstra being out-coached. That's a real big problem when you got Pat Riley hovering over your head in the front office. Well, thanks for joining us on Heat Breakdown, our inaugural post. Stay tuned for lots more all about the Heat on this very channel. And don't forget, at Heat Breakdown, it's also not a channel, it's a conversation.